Well, the offseason just got interesting, Craig.
Yeah, I think it was actually interesting before,
Yeah,
but
well, it got interesting for the Nationals.
it got interestinger.
Interestinger. Yeah, well,
We're
welcome to
starting
the
off,
first episode of Nats Talk on the Go that we've had in 4 months.
yeah, and we're starting off with hashtag interestinger.
In hashtag Interestinger.
Yep,
I like it.
yep.
Um, so yeah, why don't you tell the people what's been going on with you for the last 4 months before we actually talk about baseball things?
Oh, you mean like life?
Yeah.
Let's see. I think I spoke to the people when I had another surgery
Yeah, that's probably true.
in the beginning of October. Had surgery on my hand. That surgery, of course, didn't work, and 5 days ago I had another surgery, and I've got my hand in a thing right now for hashtag Rooster Fest Palooza nonsense. I'm gonna be in a sling, so that'll be fun. But yeah, I'm good. Things are good. I turned 29 yesterday,
I know, crazy.
so I'm old. I'm
Yeah,
like closer to 30 now, and
I
that's
know.
scary. But other than that, I've been doing pretty well. Life is good. Wife is good. I haven't seen Joe enough, but that's pretty much a constant sadness.
If we saw each other every day, Craig, it wouldn't be enough.
Oh gosh, I love you for saying that.
Right in the feels, right
Oh,
there.
right there. Oh, and how about you, Joe? How are you?
I'm awesome. I'm very well. I am glad that you have had another successful surgery. That's for sure.
Well, hopefully a successful surgery, number
Yes,
one.
that's true. I guess it's been 0 for 2 so far with number 3 pending. But
Yep.
word. Well, let's talk about baseball, shall we?
Oh, I love. Oh, you realize we're like, I don't even know how many days till pitchers and catchers, but it's close.
29.
It's 29 days to pitchers and catchers.
Or actually, might be 30. Either way, it's not a lot.
Oh,
And one of
it's
the pitchers who will have to be reporting by that date is Max Scherzer,
Max Scherzer,
which is a
Cy,
fun name to say.
Cy Young Award winner Max Scherzer.
Yeah, when this rumor started coming up on Sunday night, I was sitting and I have to be honest with you, I thought it was just junk.
Yeah,
I thought that, and I tweeted as such. Or as much. I said, I think it's just one of those things that the learners and Mike Rizzo are helping out Scott Boras, and we'll just see what happens. I'm not really whatever. And then,
drive up the market a little bit.
exactly. I mean, the learners are pretty buddy with Boras at this point, considering about a third of their entire roster are Boras clients. But
Yeah.
um, when the rumors started to pick up and it became from the Nationals or one of a couple possible teams to he's probably going to play for the Washington Nationals in 2015, I have to admit I was pretty shocked about it. I don't know how you felt.
It was absolutely surprising because the Nationals pitching staff last year was one of the top pitching staffs in all of baseball, and it had a relatively unknown number 5 in Tanner Roark, who became an absolute revelation, breakout year, and was primed to be a really nice, affordable fifth option for the Nationals this coming season and in the next few seasons to come. So starting pitching was the least of the Nationals' needs.
Yeah, I mean, and they didn't have a whole lot of needs to begin with, right? I mean,
Of course,
it's not like they were
that they haven't already filled with other deals we'll discuss later on.
exactly. I mean, it's like I said, it's not like the Nationals had a lot of gaps to fill in, but you could maybe get an extra middle infielder. If we were talking back in November, we probably would have said maybe an extra middle infielder, and you could always use some bullpen depth.
Yeah, and bench depth.
Bench depth, obviously, but that probably would have been it. And so for Max Scherzer to come to DC on a 7-year deal that is technically worth $210 million is fairly shocking. It just makes, like you said, a rotation that was already the rotation the Nationals would have gone into 2015 without Max Scherzer was still probably one of the best, if not the best rotations in all of baseball.
Right.
And then you add a guy who, like you said, 2 years ago won the AL Cy Young. Last year finished very high in the Cy Young Award voting and had an incredible year once again. Was worth almost 6 wins in last season, wins above replacement.
In each of the last 2 seasons.
Yeah. I mean, it's insane. And now this guy is going to be pitching in Washington, D.C. With Steven Strasburg and Jordan Zimmerman and Doug Fister and Gio Gonzalez. And that is absolutely kind of – it didn't hit me right until
about an hour and a half ago.
Yeah, I sent you a text message, and I was like, I am effing amped. I didn't say effing, but I said effing.
Yes.
And it hit me like a ton of bricks because it became real what it was. It's not this abstract thing. Like Max Scherzer, one of the best pitchers in baseball over the last couple of years, is going to be hopefully pitching 32 or 33 regular season games for the Nationals this year.
Yeah. Before we get more into Max Scherzer and what this means for the rest of the club and for the pitching staff, I want to talk a little bit about the reaction that we've seen.
Yeah, sure.
From both national media and DC-based journalists and fans. National media obviously all declaring this a giant coup for the Nationals, completely solidifying them as the #1 World Series contender going into 2015. DC-based media saying the same things, but there's been a lot of, I guess this means Jordan Zimmerman. I guess this means Steven Strasburg. I guess this means Doug Fister are out the door this offseason. I've seen a ton of that, and I don't understand it.
Right.
I don't understand why, especially looking at the specifics of the deal where, yes, it is a 7-year, $210 million deal, but he's going to be paid $15 million for the next 14 years.
Right.
So it's spread out. It's a lesser financial commitment when you adjust it for inflation. This comes out to about a 7-year, $170 million deal, essentially because in 14 years, $15 million won't be as much money. It won't buy as much as it does right now.
Right, and not to mention whatever contracts will be at that time will certainly make a $15 million paid seem ridiculous.
Right. Go back 14 years from now, and you were, 2 years removed from Kevin Brown becoming the first $100 million player?
Right, exactly.
So a lot's going to change in the next 14 years. But anyway, I'm getting slightly off topic. Why does this mean, maybe you can educate me, why does this mean the Nationals have to trade Jordan Zimmerman right now?
No, so I think that the logic there is that Jordan Zimmerman, or whether it's Jordan Zimmerman or it ends up being Doug Fister or whatever, any person that's part of that conversation is saying, well, you don't need him to win because it's already so good, so why don't you just get something for him because you can? And that is, to me, not an invalid argument. However, the Nationals are still going to get something from him.
Yes.
So, and I think that's where part of the disconnect happens. Baseball, the way baseball happens is just so different than other sports that I think that there is not as much known about how free agency works and how contracts work, because all money in baseball is guaranteed. And then there's, the way the draft happens, it's in the middle of the season, and
and laymen such as us, we can't comprehend figures that high.
Oh yeah, exactly. But I think with the Zimmerman situation, I think that what people kind of forget is if the Nationals aren't able to extend Jordan Zimmerman, then they're going to get a first-round draft pick for him.
Right. So,
and Mike Rizzo does some pretty cool stuff with first-round draft picks, as we've seen so far.
He is a brilliant draft guru, as evidenced by the fact that Max Scherzer is another one of his guys that he
exactly.
drafted.
So I get the argument that, yes, you could probably trade Jordan Zimmerman right now for a couple of pretty decent prospects.
But based on the Giovanni Gallardo trade that just happened, I would not be happy with that return
Right.
for
Oh, yeah.
Jordan Zimmerman.
If that was going to be what the return was, that would be a huge undersell. And I think that's where the Nationals are right now. They're going to say, listen, we're going in on 2015 with the hands down, bar none, best rotation in Major League Baseball.
And I know a lot of talk has happened amongst, at least what I've seen on Twitter, payroll. Once again, the Lerners are the richest owners in all of baseball.
Right.
I don't think it's a Rafael Soriano type come from above move.
No, I don't either.
I wouldn't say they didn't push it a little bit and say, hey, why don't we do this? And they want a title, and they want to, put some more eggs into this one basket. And essentially what they're doing is they're finding if Jordan Zimmerman and Doug Fister both leave for free agency after the 2015 season, they were going to find a stud replacement. They just found him a year earlier.
Right, and that's the thing. I think that it's easy to forget, and I've been guilty of this, that they need to replace Jordan Zimmerman after this year. Well, no, they just did.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's really what the deal is. They just replaced Jordan Zimmerman because it seems fairly apparent that he won't be coming back after the 2015 season. Right. So I love what you said about the Lerners being the richest owners in baseball, and I love, if you didn't read the post on Yahoo Sports today from Jeff Passan, it is really good. There's a line in there. He goes, and it says, quote, Ted Lerner is a billionaire. That's a billionaire, as in 9 zeros, with a 4 in front. So $4 billion. So
yeah,
and that's the thing. The Lerners bought a baseball team as an investment, no doubt about it. They've already easily doubled their return on investment. They paid about $600 million for the Nationals. The team is valued at well over $1 billion now.
Yes.
So they've already gotten the return on investment. They are baseball fans. When you buy a baseball team, it is an investment, but it's also, you're a baseball fan. You don't. It's not the safest investment in the whole world, and it's expensive. And you just say, I'm a baseball fan. I want to spend a lot of money. But as you said, it's the way that Rizzo and Boris and the Lerners and Scherzer were able to structure the deal that makes it so awesome. Because it does nothing to cripple the Nationals at all. In terms of signing Ian Desmond, in terms of extending Bryce Harper, it doesn't hurt them in any way. $15 million a year is
2.5 wins.
Yeah, it's nothing. So when you look at what the Nationals are going to be able to pay going forward for these guys, $15 million a year is relatively nothing.
Yes.
So it was structured in a way that makes sense. Yes.
And it gives Mike Rizzo flexibility to find if he needs to find a middle infielder, a corner, a bench piece, a shutdown bullpen guy, a free agent, something or other. It gives him more flexibility 5 years from now that he wouldn't have if this deal wasn't there.
And I think that I read somewhere, and I could be wrong about this, but I mean, it stands to reason. I don't think that I am wrong based on the way that it's done. Once the Jason Wirth deal is done, the only person that will have a higher annual value on the Nationals than Scherzer is Ryan Zimmerman.
Yeah.
But, Scherzer's there, but it's not like there is a guy higher. It's not like they're paying like this unbelievable amount of money for this guy in terms of annual value. So
right.
It was. I will admit that when the deal was first announced, the 7-year nature of it worries me.
Of course.
See Justin Verlander,
yes.
and what's kind of happened to him now that he's kind of into that 7-year part of his deal, and things aren't going so well for him in Detroit because he's getting older and he can't throw quite as hard, and that's just the nature of getting older as a pitcher, and it doesn't help Verlander that he came in as a major league starter at like 21 years old or whenever he came in. So he's been throwing for a long time now. And when you look at what Scherzer has been able to do, and you look at everything else, I think you tweeted this out yesterday. Year 6 and 7 of a 7-year deal is always not good.
No, it's not going to be good. But you're not playing for that deal right now.
Exactly. And that's the Nationals are in this place, right? It's been talked about a lot over the next couple of years that their window could close because they lose guys like Desmond and they lose guys like Zimmerman, and Strasburg could be coming up for free agency and Harper just after that. And so the Nationals are closing in towards the end of their window. But, with key moves, it's easy to forget there's a lot of really good pitching that is going to be ready here fairly soon, and a couple of decent position players that could be available as well.
Yes.
So it's not like the Nationals have dredges as backup options.
Right.
So it's easy to forget that. I had some pause when the deal first was announced as possible. I could not possibly be more all in on it, even if looking into look forward an extra year, which the argument that Scherzer is going to replace Zimmerman, then you still have a rotation that includes Scherzer, that still includes Strasburg, that still includes Gio Gonzalez, that once again includes Tanner Roark, that could include Lucas Giolito.
A year closer to Giolito, Cole could be in there.
Exactly. So, I mean,
amongst others, yes.
There are huge, huge benefits to this deal, and it took time for me to kind of hash out in my own brain what they all were, and they are very good.
And as for Max Scherzer as a pitcher, he is good.
Yeah, really good.
He's real good. He is going to have a higher walk rate and a higher strikeout rate than Jordan Zimmerman, but we're also going to be looking at a pitcher that's coming into the strikeout-heavy NL East. And this is a guy who's got the highest active strikeouts per nine of any starting pitcher.
Is that right for a career?
Baseball. Yes.
Wow.
Highest in baseball active. He is fourth all-time as a career behind Hall of Famer Randy Johnson, Phenom Kerry Wood, and Hall of Famer Pedro Martinez.
I did not know that. That's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew his strikeout rate was good. I didn't realize it was that good.
It's pretty darn good. So,
yeah, but like you said, he is going to walk guys.
He's gonna walk. I think it's like around 2.5, 2.6.
Yeah, 2.5 batters
per nine. Yeah, 2.5 batters per nine, but he's gonna strike out 10.5, 11.
Yeah,
we're talking reliever level strikeout stuff for 7 innings a game.
Yeah, just like Strasburg does. I mean that kind of stuff. Yeah. Except Strasburg's walk rate is lower, but that's a whole different thing.
Yeah. So I am all in on this. He's just 1 year older than Jordan Zimmerman. People are like, why couldn't you give Jordan Zimmerman this kind of money? Blah blah blah. This is now. Jordan Zimmerman's is later. It's a different thing. He's a different pitcher. It's whatever.
I agree. I just think that. To make an argument that Jordan Zimmerman could have gotten this kind of money is fine, but then there's no way that you could not justify giving it to Scherzer.
Right.
So, it's just the body of work for Scherzer is there, and that's what deserves it. Jordan Zimmerman has had a couple of really, really good years, and he deserves a good payday that he's going to get when he hits free agency.
Right.
And Max Scherzer, to be quite honest, really helped him out.
Yep.
He's going to get a nice payday.
That is absolutely true.
But as of now and for the foreseeable future, as far as many reports have said, as from people who have good old sources, all of those guys are going to be part of the same rotation in 2015 in Washington, D.C., and it's going to be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be very good. So I want to talk a little bit about that rotation. This is definitely going to be picking at straws a little bit, and I'm going to admit that from the beginning, but I think it'd be remiss to not have the conversation of who's going to start on opening day.
Yep.
I think the answer is fairly clear at this point, but what do you think?
I think it's got to be Strasburg.
Really?
Yeah.
I wish that was true.
Yeah.
But I think that Matt Williams and Mike Rizzo are going to see this as an opportunity to remove pressure from Strasburg's plate and put Max Scherzer as an opening day starter and have Strasburg pitch second.
Oh, see, I would think, my number 2 would be Jordan Zimmerman.
Really?
Yeah, just to give. Well, wait, is opening day at home?
Yes.
Yeah, just to give the fans a little. Hey, remember the last time you saw this guy pitching here?
Yeah, that's true. No,
You
that'd be
know,
cool.
it would be. I mean, honestly, it doesn't really matter.
And this is the
Um,
and this is the point that I wanted to get to, right? Like
it's
this
five
is
number ones.
well, it is literally five. I mean, on very, very, very good teams, it's three number ones and two number twos.
I don't even think it's ever that.
But I mean, it's these guys are all have been or could be number one starters for basically any team in baseball.
Yeah, Gio Gonzalez is probably the worst of the bunch, and he is a two.
Yeah, he's probably the worst of a bunch. And over the last 2 years, I think he has a 2 or 3 years has a combined like 3.2 ERA.
Yeah, and
I mean,
he's like a two,
yeah,
and he's a five.
yeah. It's gonna be fascinating to watch. And the beautiful part about, like I said, the beautiful part of where the Nationals are, injuries happen, right? The 2012 season that the Nationals had, where not a single starting pitcher spent a moment on the disabled list, is those seasons don't happen.
Right.
Pitchers get hurt. It's the nature of the gig. But then, if somebody does, you have Tanner Roark right there.
Right there.
A guy who had a sub-3 ERA last year, and for the people who care about that, won 15 games.
Invaluable.
So it's, as you said, it will be invaluable. It'll allow them to move pieces around in the bullpen, to have him, Roark, do long relief, and then maybe have Stammen do some more late inning work. It's going to be very interesting to see how it all fleshes out. But even considering the length of the contract, I can't come up with too many bad things about this deal.
I mean, the length of the contract is what got it done.
Well, and that's the only thing that's going to get it done in the current state of affairs.
That's how it works. You get that extra year. I mean, that's one of the reasons why the Nationals were able to get Jason Worth.
Yeah, that's really the only reason, right? Nobody was willing to give Jason Worth 7 years. That's the only reason that he's in DC, and that's turned out to be a pretty A+ contract. So you never know what can happen.
So we got a lot of other stuff to talk about.
Yeah, so let's hit it. Go ahead. Hit it next?
Well, let's just keep going with in reverse chronological order. Fan favorite, Goggled Wonder, Peaches in a Can, has been shipped out in yet another trade with the Oakland A's.
Yeah, so first of all, Mike Rizzo and Billy Beane must I don't know, they must be like each other's number one on speed dial. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I saw a great quote. I don't know who it was, but it said, to Mike Rizzo and Billy Beane, seeing the other person's name on their caller ID, it's the only person who's not afraid to see that name.
That's funny. Because
Like,
they're really the only GM smart enough not to screw each other, right?
right.
I mean,
But seriously, they're the only ones. Like, Mike Rizzo's not afraid to see Billy Beane, and Billy Beane's probably not afraid to see Mike Rizzo, whereas everyone else is like, oh shit, we're gonna get fleeced.
yeah, we're gonna get totally screwed by these guys.
Yep. So they're of their kindred spirits. They're both brilliant. They're both scouting. They know how to make it happen.
Yeah, and the thing to me that is that's so cool about the deal that they have, like the trades that they've made have been overall. Well, the Gio trade was not fair. Mike Rizzo won that. Well, I guess they got Derek Norris. So no, that deal is pretty fair too. The deals overall have been very fair.
Very even, yeah. I mean, they're mutually beneficial.
Yeah, and that's how you continue making good deals that benefit both teams. Like, if Mike Rizzo had to go make a deal with Dave Dombrowski right now, I don't know that's going to go so well.
Yeah, don't think it would happen.
Yeah. But, sometimes you have to make those deals, and it was obviously the right decision. But
it was a great deal for Mike Rizzo.
Yeah.
But anyway, go ahead. Anyway, I'm transitioning back to...
Okay, sorry. So the deal that sends Tyler Clippard to Oakland for Yunel Escobar is, on the field, I have absolutely no problem with this deal. The Nationals had a luxurious amount of late inning relief. Most teams don't have that.
Right.
You have to believe that Drew Storen is going to be fine, and I truly do, and I have no concerns about it at all, and he's going to be a fantastic closer.
Yes.
And then you just kind of fill in pieces. There are a lot of options that the Nationals have losing Tyler Clippard. It sucks losing a fan favorite. People loved Tyler Clippard.
Absolutely.
Why did I? That's not past tense. People love
Oh.
Tyler Clippard.
And how could you not?
And yeah, what's not to like, right?
He's got that goofy walk, and he's got the goggles, and he's got the
Exactly.
hilarious Fugees and Peaches.
He's he's just a likable dude, and
Yes.
not to mention pretty good at the pitching.
Yes.
Has just had an unprecedented amount of success over the course of the last 5 seasons. I mean, it's been unreal. He's had in his last, in his last 6 seasons, he has had 2 years where he's had ERAs above 3.
Yeah.
No years with ERAs at 4. That's for a late inning reliever. That's just insane. That's just not normal. Not to mention over the last 3 years, he's pitched about 70 innings, and in 2010 and 11, when there was really nobody else in the bullpen, he had 91 and 88 innings respectively as a reliever. So he just has been able to get the job done. He will be a benefit in Oakland, even more benefited by the fact that is a massive, disgustingly huge ballpark that eats up fly balls.
Yes.
So that's really going to do him a lot of good because he allows a lot of fly balls.
Yes.
But in return, the Nationals got shortstop, likely about to become second baseman, Yunel Escobar.
Yes, Yunel Escobar.
Are you going to talk about him, or did you want me to keep going?
You're kind of in the zone. I mean, I can jump in.
Okay, I just didn't know if you wanted to.
I like it when you're in the zone. I like listening. It's good.
All right.
It's like watching Shakespeare the way it was meant to be played.
Oh God, my ego is getting too big.
Oh, it's great though.
So Escobar is an interesting thing because I feel like his reputation definitely negatively impacts what he's done in the field. I think that he's kind of been seen as a negative clubhouse impact, and he's kind of proven to be that. He's had the gay slurs on his eye black when he was a couple of years back, and then has had other issues with people in the clubhouse. It's been reported that he just doesn't get along with people, and so that part to me is a little bit concerning. What about you?
I'm not too concerned at all.
No.
I think there's oftentimes a lot of things that are lost in translation, especially with non-English speakers in English-focused clubhouses.
Sure.
And, I'm not saying the Nationals have the best clubhouse, but they definitely have they have that Tampa Bay mentality that's very team-centric. It's very welcoming. It's very, we look out for our own, we kind of self-police, So I think that being in an already functioning, non-dysfunctional clubhouse is going to do wonders for him. Yes, he's not young, but he might be a little immature, a little young, in the brain.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, getting into a winning clubhouse that, there are routines, there's top-down leadership, there's clubhouse leadership, there's Spanish speakers. I think it's going to, help him out a lot, especially when you've got, players like Wilson Ramos who have, are native Spanish speaker who see the extreme importance to learn English so they can communicate just to, have that extra connection. I think that's going to be good because I don't know how much Yunel Escobar has actually had that. But
yeah, sure.
On the field, he's fantastic. He had a down year, but he was also suffering from shoulder and knee injuries last season. But the years prior, we're talking a 4-win player at shortstop with stellar defense, and he's going to be playing second base, which, yes, it's a different position, but it's less range, same skill set, but a little bit less. So hopefully
same skill set, just marginally less demand.
Yeah, exactly. And it'll be less wear and tear on the knee, less throw on the shoulder, and it also gives the Nationals a fantastic replacement if Ian Desmond needs to sit out a day, and you can put Danny Espinosa at second base.
Yeah, or you could put Danny Espinosa at shortstop.
At shortstop. I mean,
you have options there.
It's very versatile. But in terms of the deal, I know that Billy Beane needed some bullpen help, and so that's good for him. but I think this is a huge, huge, huge win for the Nationals, just in terms of long-term effect.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
Uh, Tyler Clippard, as much as we love him, uh, he was an eighth inning guy, seventh inning guy, eighth inning guy at best. He was not going to be a closer. He has thrown more innings than any relief pitcher in baseball over the last 5 years. No relief pitcher, I believe, has thrown more than 70 innings in 6 straight seasons.
Yeah.
And this would be Tyler Clippard's 6th straight season if he were to do that. Prone to fly balls. We kept saying all last year the wheels are going to fall off at some point. I still think they are because it's the human body, and that's what happens with pitchers. But you're talking an eighth inning guy who was due, what,
$9 million.
9.3, somewhere around there,
Yeah.
$1 million to be an eighth inning guy in the bullpen, where you can find bullpen help at major league minimum that's going to be maybe not as effective, but close to it.
Definitely not as effective, but you don't need it to be.
Exactly. And in turn, you got a middle infielder who is under team control for a grand total of, I believe it's $19 million.
It's 16, I think.
16, yes, I'm sorry. It's 5, 5, and 7,
Yeah.
I think. $5 million this year, $5 million next year, and $7 million team option.
Yeah.
For 2017. So you were able to trade an extra bullpen piece. And yes, I know I'm saying it. It's Tyler Clippard. We love him. He's not extra. He's so valuable, blah, blah, blah. But he's an extra bullpen piece for a middle infielder who honestly is going to bridge the gap until their brand new, not yet acquired shortstop prospect, Trey Turner, is major league ready or there too.
Exactly.
So in terms of value, the Nationals got 3 years of a quality defending, decent offensive middle infielder for an extra bullpen piece.
Yeah.
That they were only going to have for 1 year.
Well, that's the thing, right? I mean, Clippard was going to hit free agency at the end of the year, and somebody's going to be crazy enough to sign him to a 3 or a 4 year deal.
Oh yeah.
And it's not going to be the Nationals.
Oh, he'll get the what was it? Who was it that got the 3 years, $39 million?
Was it Jeremy Affeldt?
Might have been.
I know he got a 3 or a 4 year deal, but
yeah, just crazy.
I mean, you just have to look and say, oh no, Jeremy Affeldt was a couple years ago. It was Andrew Miller.
Okay.
I think got it this year, but I mean, you're right. As far as player value, you take the guy that's going to play middle infields for you for 150 something games, versus the guy that is going to throw you 70 innings. I mean, it's just that, and that's true over 1 year. Let alone if you're getting the guy for potentially for 3.
Right.
So, and I think that the degradation of Escobar's defense has been far oversold.
Yes.
He's getting older. So he's certainly losing some range. There's no question about that. It happens to everybody when they get older. It just, you can't run as fast, and you don't see it as good, and you don't play the ball as well. But when you look at what Escobar has done over the course of his entire career, he's been a positive defensive player every single solitary year. You don't then become a negative defensive player immediately. Unless there's a significant injury issue, i.e. Ryan Zimmerman.
Yes.
Those things do happen. But like you said, he is a guy that is a middle infielder. He's going to slide over to play second base. He's going to provide, at least he'll provide average defense at second base. And the bat is there. The thing that to me about Escobar is so good for me is his on-base percentage for career is almost at 350, which is awesome, and his strikeout rate is just above 10%. I mean,
that's fantastic.
This is a guy that is not going to strike out a whole lot, and he's going to get on base quite a bit. He's not going to hit for power, but you don't need him to.
And this gives Danny Espinosa he's a solid bench piece. If Danny Espinosa is your starter, yeah, it's not ideal, but if he's your bench player, that's fantastic because he's so versatile. He's got a little pop. He's got some speed. He's got great defense.
And don't be surprised if when the Nationals are facing left-handed starting pitching, if those are the days that Danny Espinosa gets a start at second base or shortstop to get him some at-bats from the right-hand side of the plate, and you'll see him get a couple of starts every once in a while just to keep everybody fresh. That wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, and, I know we talked about it a little bit, but concerns over, clubhouse issues or whatever. Honestly, you don't hear about clubhouse issues with winning teams.
Right.
So
when you're bad, that's all you hear about because people are unhappy and they don't want to go to work because they don't want to lose again.
I mean, I don't like going to work when am not happy with work.
Yeah, exactly. Who does?
So I mean, I don't think it's going to be an issue. I think it's a fantastic move, and I think it addressed the one starting issue the Nationals had.
Yeah, I completely agree.
So, yeah.
What's next?
Well, I already mentioned him once. Trey Turner.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that trade.
Yeah, hit it. Go ahead.
So, about a month ago now?
It's got to be.
The Rays and the Padres who have done more than probably any team this offseason.
The Padres have been almost ridiculously involved.
Yeah. It's the weirdest thing. I've never heard that or ever thought it would ever happen. But anyway, the Padres and Rays were talking trade. Will Myers was going to be going to San Diego. A couple pieces were going to be going back to the Rays. And, it all looked like a nice, tidy deal. And then all of a sudden, it was, the Nationals are involved. Why are the Nationals involved? What are they possibly doing? Okay. And it came out that the Nationals were trading Steven Souza, who made the catch heard around the world, and a guy named Travis Ott, who, have you ever heard of him before the trade? Okay, neither have I. Didn't appear on any lists. Prospect, low guy, whatever. They were headed to Tampa Bay in this three-way trade. Steven Souza, like Tyler Clippard, was an extra piece.
Steven Souza has a grand total of 26 Major League Plate appearances.
Yeah.
You don't bank a guy on 26 career Major League Plate appearances.
Yeah. If anything, he was going to be the Nationals' fifth outfielder.
Oh yeah, easily.
He was going to be a good bench piece. Had a great hit well in the minors. I think he won the International League batting title.
He did.
Maybe even in the MVP. I'm not sure.
He did. He won the MVP.
Well, there we go.
Yeah.
So anyway, an extra piece for the Nationals. He's blocked by Denard Span, whose option they picked up. Bryce Harper, who is not bad, and Jason Worth, who's signed for a good bit of money and going to be playing left field. So they sent him to Tampa along with this guy that no one had ever heard of. And in return, the Nationals picked up 2 first-round draft picks from the same. And Travis Ott.
We lost you there for a second.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's
Steven
okay.
Souza and Travis Ott for 2011 first rounder Joe Ross, who was the Padres' 9th best prospect going into the 2014 season, and Trey Turner, who was their 13th overall pick in the first round in the 2014 draft, who is a shortstop prospect and is several years away, but he definitely projects to be a really quality major league level, 5, maybe 5+ shortstop.
Yeah.
In the future, but of course with the what's the word I'm looking for, the crappy old antiquated. Thank you. Antiquated MLB laws. Trey Turner is not allowed to be a National until June.
Right.
He is, as of right now, a player to be named later, which there's got to be some way around it, but that's a story. That's a topic for another time.
Yeah.
But the Nationals were able to turn a 5th outfielder with 25 Major League plate appearances and a prospect ? That no one had ever heard of.
A minor league player.
A minor league player. For 2 first-rounders, the 9th overall, and I would assume Trey Turner would be the Padres' number 1, maybe number 2 overall.
Yeah, he was
prospect.
definitely high up there. I'm not sure where he was, but he was definitely in the top 2 or 3.
But just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Extra pieces go out, prospects come in. It's unbelievable. It's so weird.
It's not normal. And I mean, and he has ridiculous speed. Trey Turner's unbelievably fast, apparently. So
Yeah. But I mean, Rizzo gonna Rizzo, and
Rizzo gonna Rizzo.
Rizzo gonna Rizzo. And it's like I said before, Yunel Escobar is going to be, if he needs to, if Desmond's gone after this coming season, Yunel Escobar will play shortstop and bridge that gap until Trey Turner is ready. If he projects out and lives up to his potential, which we know is always a crapshoot.
Yeah.
But if he gets there, then you've got your future shortstop in a trade that you really lost nothing.
And if not, then and you decide to extend Ian Desmond, which is still certainly a possibility, or sign him in free agency or do whatever, it's a possibility the Nationals will do that. You can always move guys around, and who knows, and maybe Trey Turner becomes a second baseman, or there are other options there as well.
Absolutely.
I read somewhere that said that even with his speed, he could end up being a center fielder somehow. You know, like those kinds of things do happen when you have guys that are just kind of getting into the minor league systems.
And that's why you want good athletes.
Exactly.
Yep. So that was pretty cool. One more big-ish for friends of Nats Talk on the Go, move from the offseason. Ross Detweiler.
Oh, yeah.
Ross Detweiler is gone. He has been traded to the Tejas Rangers, where he will be starting.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Which is wonderful, and I'm really happy for him, and I hope he does well. Odd man out, just never got started properly here. I blame Jim Bowden.
Yeah, definitely. That's just easy.
So.
Yeah, I'm with you, and he's going to be pitching in a rotation with Giovanni Gallardo now. So.
Yes, he is. But they got back two prospects, Bostic and De Los Santos. Two guys playing high A ball. De Los Santos has pretty live arm. He can throw pretty darn hard. A little erratic, but he's a minor league pitcher, so that's pretty standard. But Bostic is quick and he's got some pop. So
and remember the last time the Nationals traded a guy to Texas that they didn't have any use for anymore. They got Tanner Roark back for him. So.
Oh yeah.
That doesn't always turn out bad. Sometimes you get those random high A guys that turn into something.
So yeah, those are the players that are actually going to make some impact in the Nationals organization. Two players that will not make any impact in the Nationals organization outside of jokes on Twitter. Minor league deals for Dan Uggla and Heath Bell.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So I hope we have enough Schmedium shirts in stock at the team store in Vieira.
It's pretty funny. I mean, the Uggla situation is it's funny because he's, I hope that he turns his career around. He has the potential to be he definitely had potential to be good, and he was excellent at one point.
Yes.
Possibly one of the best one of the best hitting second basemen.
Yeah.
So yeah, it will be interesting. My plugin is freaking out on me here. Sorry.
There's no such thing as a bad minor league deal. So all of you that freak out about that kind of stuff, don't.
Exactly. I totally agree.
Cool.
Anything else to add? Because my browser's freaking out. I think we probably have to start wrapping this up.
Okay, well, I have a couple more things.
Okay, go quick.
We'll go quick. Arbitration was avoided from everyone except for Jerry, which is good.
Sorry, what'd you say?
Arbitration was avoided by everyone except for Jerry Blevins.
Oh, well, that's good.
So that's good. Jason Worth, shoulder surgery.
Yeah, he's not had a great offseason, has he?
No, definitely not. With being arrested and such and going to jail maybe. But yeah, he will be ready by opening day. And I think that actually is going to mean that Michael Taylor is going to he's going to go north with the club.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to put somebody in there, and he's really the only one that makes sense. So,
first baseman Ryan Zimmerman.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see what he does over there.
It's official. He was announced as such at Nats Fest, which was a blast. Report came out today that the Nationals have been told that they will be getting the 2018 All-Star Game.
I saw that. That's so incredibly shocking.
Yeah, it really is. I think it just needed Bud Selig to be gone.
Yeah, and I mean, we've talked about that for a while, so I'm just glad to see new leadership over there, and certainly the Nationals deserve it. I know that there is some to be desired situation in that particular area where the stadium is, but if you look at what that section of Southeast looks like now versus what it looked like when the ballpark was first there, I mean, there is stuff to do there, and it's only going to get better. And I think we're talking 4 years out. It's going to be ready to go for
in a fantastic booming economy.
Exactly.
Where jobs are available. Yep. And my last and favorite thing I saw today, and yes, that includes Max Scherzer. Joe, did you see who the new MLB chair of the finance committee is?
Oh, I did see something about this, but remind me.
Fred Wilpon.
Yeah, that's so ridiculous. Somebody had the best comparison about, like, making Fred Wilpon the chairman of the finance committee is like something, and it was the perfect comparison. I wish that I could.
I saw one that was really blue. It was very crass.
Yeah, that's probably the same one then. Go ahead.
It was Fred Wilpon as chair of the finance committee is like Jerry Sandusky as head of baseball Little League.
God.
Yeah.
Wow. That's not where I expected that to go.
Yeah, like head of the commissioner of Little League.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Mine wasn't, the one that I saw wasn't that bad.
Dude, I told you it was crass.
Yeah, that's pretty crass. Yeah, I think you undersold with crass.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Just
but
kidding.
Anyway, the dude who got busted for a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah.
For a pyramid scheme is now the chairman of
that basically ruined the Mets.
A $7 billion industry.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Good hands. Good job, baseball.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, yeah, that's all I had. Hopefully, we can do this a little bit more regularly.
Yeah, we're hitting back into times where there's actually going to be baseball stuff to talk about, so we'll hit it back on the regular. It's just hard to hit record button on a podcast when it's like, so this is the one deal that happened and it was a minor league deal. Okay, see you next week.
Yep.
That makes it kind of difficult.
Yep.
Well,
but I will see you in 10 days?
Yeah, 10 days.
Yeah, we're going to go see a basketball game.
I know, it's really weird.
I don't know how I feel about that.
We'll enjoy it. It'll be fun going with fun people.
That's true. All right, cool.
All right, well, everybody, thanks for listening. We appreciate you tuning in to episode 89. Hey, Craig, this is finally going to be the year we hit 100 episodes.
Oh, man.
Finally.
We got to do something, special.
Yeah, I know. It'll be stupid, but we'll figure something out.
Actually have one.
Yeah, true story.
Yeah.
All right, guys, thank you for listening. We'll talk to you next time.
Bye-bye.